Hey guys, welcome to another radio video, and here's a little review of a cheap QFX R9 receiver. I was surprised to see this receiver at my local electronics surplus store. It's an electronics store where I go and get a lot of electronic supplies and stuff. And while actually going through, I saw these little black boxes, and behold, it's a shortwave radio. It's an FM, medium wave, and shortwave in 7 bands, plus TV channels, which is, kind of unusable now here in North America. And I believe it doesn't seem to be the same bands as North America. And whatever, anyway, we don't receive anything. So this is the radio. Well, this is the box. You see the price tag here. I paid $11.99, 12 bucks. I went through eBay and a few stores. It seems to be like $10 to $12 pretty much everywhere. So I paid pretty much what it is sold for. So this is the radio. It is a plastic, does feel a little cheap, flimsy, especially the DX local switch here is really like one really cheap switch. AM mode switch here and FM TV here. It receives FM from 76 to 108, medium wave from 530 to 1600 kilohertz, so it doesn't have the expanded AM band. It doesn't seem to be a radio for this market also. It has shortwave and 7 bands, but the bands aren't exactly well designed. They are large, that's good, but they miss out a little bit on, especially on the bottom part for some bands. So it depends on the frequency you want to tune. But they are quite large, so you don't miss a lot. The bands are 49, 41, 31, 25, 22, 19, and 16 meter band. It doesn't have 13 meters, 21 megahertz. It's not a big omission, but it is an omission because there are some stuff here. Radio's a little flimsy, and as you see, just pressing on the radio to extend the antenna made the little battery compartment door get out, which is quite weird. And so here is the back of the radio. It has the band switch on the top, and on the right side the tuning button, a little handle here to put on your arm to in case you bring it along and you don't want to drop it. On the left side you have the on off and volume, so you've got a earphone jack, and you got a little DC 3-volt adapter jack if you want to use a power adapter on it, which is exceptional for a radio of this price. They don't usually add that. Now, what do I think of this radio? It's 12 bucks. And in the past I've been surprised on some radios. Look at the Texan radio, the little Texan $20 radio that analog radio, which is an amazing performer, the R9012. And this is rather cheap. I'd say that in medium wave and FM, the local switch almost needs to be on, because it actually is kind of difficult to tune, really. The field,
we're surrounded by nature here in Quebec, and this kind of thing happens often. So
filters are just so wide that AM stations that are like, 70 kilohertz apart here are actually overlapping. So you see that the filters are very large for medium wave. In FM, it receives the regular FM stations. Most of the time I collapse the antenna because it really makes things better.
Bruno Mars Pharrell,
What is interesting is the way the stations, kind of FM stations, seem to enter, and that's very, very, very weird in the way it is actually done. But it does receive all local FM stations. It's not ADX machine, forget that. Now on shortwave, this is a shortwave channel. How does it perform? Now the biggest problem I have here at my location is FM breakthrough on the shortwave bands. So it means that I have a lot of the FM stations actually breaking through, and that's what you hear now. This is on the 16-meter band, and you see that all the FM stations are breaking through. So it's a little annoying for that, but when you are on bands where no FM stations are breaking through, it actually does receive signals, and it has a certain sensitivity, so that's true. But unfortunately, because of the FM breakthrough, I have a lot of difficulty tuning, shortwave signals. They're like washed away in the FM breakthrough. If you live in a spot far from a city where there's no, or weak stations, FM stations are weak, it might be an interesting radio for that if you're looking for something cheap. But here in a big city like Montreal, with all the FM stations, very powerful FM stations, it is impossible to tune, or almost. I'm still gonna make a video with some shortwave tuning, show you what we can receive with this radio. I'll try to position myself in a spot where I can actually lessen the effects of the FM overload here. So the QFX R9, 12 bucks radio, of course I can't resist. If I have cheap radios at a store, I have to buy one. And well, gives you an idea of how cheap or not they are. On the website of the QFX website, they do have the model R9 still there, so it seems to be a current model that they sell. And on the audio department, you do have strong audio. When you listen to some,
Traffic Center. Sure, and good afternoon, Barry. Our problem on the 720, the Ville Marie westbound at the 15
north. As you see here, the sound is quite strong, but it's not great quality. It does lack in frequency response. Another thing here is that if you look at the display, I'm listening right now to CJ80-800, and I'm like almost between 800 and 1,000 here on the display. So it's not really good, and look how large the station takes. So you see that this is not only a cheap radio, but probably the cheapest radio you can have in the electronics of the radio itself. So really not going to be my favorite performer. That's pretty much it. But at least you'll have an idea if you ever see one for 12 bucks. but it is true that it's not a very, very cool radio for 12 bucks. So look for medium wave and shortwave testing. I will be checking for that for sure, and trying to find out what they how it performs. I'll try in the evening when there's more signals and see how it performs in the shortwave spectrum. So this was the QFX model R9, $11.99 that I paid. It's about 12 bucks on the internet. Very cheap portable receiver. If you enjoy our videos, well, subscribe, and hope you enjoy these reviews of cheap radios and all sorts of shortwave details. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.